You thought Jackie Christie's biggest scandal was screaming at producers on Basketball Wives. Oh no, sweetheart, that was child's play because her own daughter, yes, Chantel Christie just went live and flipped the entire Christie brand upside down with 8 words. Doug Christie is not my real father, boom. Mic dropped, family portrait shattered, and boss, this ain't no clickbait. This is a full-blown DNA disaster wrapped in betrayal, tears, NDAs, and Instagram receipts for years. Jackie sold us a fantasy strong wife, loyal daughter, picture perfect family. But behind the scenes, she was allegedly editing the truth harder than a VH1 reunion special, and now the mask is off Chantel's, spilling everything from hidden letters and fake smiles to emotional blackmail, and a father figure who allegedly knew the truth the whole time. Was it all for TV? Did Doug really go along with the lie? And how long can Jackie stay silent before the internet eats her alive? Don't blink, because what Chantel just exposed might be the final blow to Jackie Christie's entire empire. And baby, we're just getting started, from choking out Cassie's mates over nothing to throwing drinks like she's the bartender of chaos to screaming, "I'm the queen." So, like someone actually asked, Jackie's been the unofficial villain of Basketball Wives since flip phones were trending. But even in all that mess, there was one thing she held onto like a trophy: her image as a devoted wife and ride or die mom. Yeah, well, that trophy just got smashed because in a viral live stream that dropped like an emotional nuke on social media, Chantel Christie, Jackie's very own daughter, looked straight into her camera and said, "Doug Christie is not my real father, and my mom's been lying to me my whole life." Phew, somewhere in VH1 headquarters a producer just spilled their coffee in slow motion now, before you'll try to say this is just another reality TV stunt for attention. No, this wasn't sponsored by Mona Scotty Young, this wasn't a scripted fight or a staged reunion chair. This was raw, emotional, and most importantly, damning. Chantel didn't just say her mom lied. She brought receipts like it was tax season. She pulled out a birth certificate that had an entirely different name, where Doug should have been. She held up handwritten letters, allegedly from her biological father. Letters Jackie apparently hid from her for decades, and then just when viewers thought it couldn't get crazier, she played a voice note that had Jackie allegedly saying, "What if I told you that Jackie Christie didn't just lose her freedom? She's still pulling strings from behind bars. What if I told you Chris Webber just walked into court with receipts so explosive the entire courtroom froze? And what if I told you those receipts were Jackie's own jail phone calls? Yes, Jackie Christie behind bars, wrapped in scandal, already facing fraud and perjury, just got exposed again, and this time by the very man she tried to silence for decades, in front of the judge Doug Christie and a jury that could barely blink. Chris played the tapes, leaked unfiltered raw audio, Jackie on the jail phone saying things that might just bury her for good. Doug, he didn't just listen, he lost it. He stood up, he screamed, and he nearly got himself held in contempt right there in front of the media, because once you hear what Jackie said in those calls, you'll understand why Doug might never recover, and why Chris Webber just proved once again that Jackie's empire wasn't just built on lies, it was managed from a jail cell. Buckle up, because this isn't just a fall from grace, this is a free fall on speakerphone. Doug Christie sat stiff in the courtroom, hands clenched, jaw tight. He had already endured the humiliation of seeing his wife, Jackie Christie, cuffed and dragged away after being exposed for perjury, blackmail, and laundering hush money through fake charities. But this, what was about to happen next, he wasn't ready. Not for this, because Chris Webber didn't just come to court with old voicemails or dusty hotel receipts. No, Chris Webber showed up with audio federal jailhouse audio phone calls between Jackie and her daughter Chantel, between Jackie and her attorney, and worse, between Jackie and someone she called Baby, a mystery man who was definitely not Doug. The courtroom had been buzzing for days. Rumors flew that Chris had something explosive. Some thought it might be old footage, others speculated a signed confession. But when Chris's legal team announced, "We'd like to admit a new piece of audio evidence pulled directly from inmate Jackie Christie's recorded jailhouse phone logs," everything stopped. The judge raised an eyebrow. Doug shifted in his seat, and then the clip played. At first it was Jackie's voice, calm and collected, but clearly scheming. "They don't know half the story," she whispered. Doug's still out there playing the loyal husband. "I just need this trial to stall a bit longer. Chris will fold, he always does." Gasps echoed in the courtroom, but then came the bombshell. Jackie, voice shaking, almost seductive, said, "Tell Ramon I miss him, and to keep the burner phone close. We'll finish this when I'm out." Doug's legacy that was never real. Doug snapped the courtroom, burst into gasps, murmurs, and full-on disbelief. Chris Webber sat stone-faced, arms crossed. He hadn't flinched once. Doug, on the other hand, stood up mid-playback, pointed directly at Chris and shouted, "You think this is funny? You think you can destroy my family with this?" Bailiffs rushed toward him, but the damage was done. The image was now clear. Jackie Christie, even behind bars, wasn't done manipulating, scheming, or humiliating the man who once stood by her through everything. But let's rewind, because this betrayal didn't start in the courtroom. It began the moment Jackie realized she was cornered and decided to flip the narrative by dragging Chris and Doug down together after being charged with perjury and obstruction of justice following Chris Webber's shocking courtroom testimony where he claimed Chantel was his daughter. Jackie was transferred to a federal holding facility in downtown Los Angeles, and even though she was stripped of her glam, her heels and her signature fur coats, she wasn't stripped of her ego inside jail. Jackie did what Jackie does best, talk, and unfortunately for her, every word was recorded, from late-night phone calls to whispered conspiracies. Jackie laid out her next steps to whoever would listen. In one call to Chantel, she can be heard saying, "Your father Doug, he's going to be fine. Just tell the press he's focused on family. Chris is weak. He won't go public with everything. He doesn't want the world to know what really went down between us." But Chris had reached his limit for months. He'd been dragged online, painted as the home wrecker, the liar, the one who ruined the Christies' marriage. But now that Jackie's own voice confirmed everything, including a potential ongoing affair from behind bars, Chris decided it was time to burn it all down. His legal team contacted prosecutors and offered the phone logs as evidence. LAPD's cyber division reviewed the tapes, and once authenticated, the judge approved them for public release. That's when VH1 panicked. A source close to the network leaked that Basketball Wives' entire upcoming season, which had been quietly filming around the trial, was now in jeopardy due to pending criminal charges against Jackie. Explosive new leaks and growing demands to pull Doug from any brand endorsements, and while Jackie remained behind bars planning her next me.